Hey, how's it going? I'm Sean. This is Indigenous Patriot. Thank you for joining me. I hope that 2021 really shines for you because 2020 has not been the best. We've had some ups, we've had some downs. It's been one for the history books, and we're almost through it. Only a few more days to go. Stick with it. In any case, if you like a channel that provides commentary on the news with an honest perspective, if you like things that deal with indigenous culture, if you like just some random dude's opinions on what's going on in the world, this is the channel for you. Hit the subscribe button and join me on my journey. Let's get started. In Oakland, California, they had a bust of Breonna Taylor, and if you're not familiar with the whole Breonna Taylor case, I really recommend that you look into that, look into Tamir Rice. There's a litany of names that you should really look into in order to better understand what's happening in our world today, because a lot of the protests and things that we've encountered in 2020 happen to stem from similar incidents. In any case, unfortunately, the bust was destroyed by vandals, and who exactly destroyed the bust is still up for investigation. We're not really sure at this point. I don't really hear too many people calling out that this was destroying our history, though, so maybe we're having a little bit of hypocrisy going on in our community. I don't know. Hopefully, another one will be put up. No justice, no peace. The stimulus that we've been waiting on for what, 6, 9 months, however many months, forever since the start of time here. And anyway, the stimulus was finally signed. It was the $600 direct payments included stimulus, the really bloated bill that came with all kinds of pork in it. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the term pork, it just means extra stuff that they cram into a bill to get it passed as a rider. Okay, it has nothing to do with the animal or the food or whatever you want to call it. In any case, the stimulus provides $600 direct payments to Americans that have filed their taxes in 2019. And the Treasury Department is indicating that they're going to start sending these payments out directly. Something that's very interesting is that also today the House passed a $2,000 direct stimulus bill that's like a side bill. It's meant to just increase the payments that Americans are receiving, and it's not that you're going to get $600 and then they're going to add another $2,000 on top of it. What the saying is that they're just going to, if you've already received a check by the time that this passes, I doubt it's going to, but by the time the $2,000 bill passes, they're just going to bump you up to, give you another $1,400 on top of the $600 that they've already given you. It's not going to be, $2,600, whatever. In any case, this is how this was broken down. So, the House passed a $2,000 bill. It's on its way to the Senate. The breakdown was 275 to 134. Two Democrats did not approve the bill, and 44 GOP did approve the bill. So that's pretty interesting. I came across an article from the New York Post. I'm sure most of us have already seen it at this point if we are up to date on the news. But if you haven't, I'm going to discuss it real quick. It's very interesting to me because the actual title of this particular article is, the Post says, "Give it up, Mr. President, for your sake and the nation's." What do you think they're asking him to give up? You got it. They're telling him to stop the election fraud claims. They want him to focus more on what's happening with the Georgia runoffs. They state that the Georgia runoffs are of more consequence to our nation's future because despite the claims that Trump's making in regards to election fraud, there's just no proof. In fact, there's a quote here. Unfortunately, you're obsessed with the next day, January 6th, when Congress will, in pro forma action, certify the Electoral College vote. You have tweeted that as long as Republicans have courage, they can overturn the results and give you 4 more years in office. And here's where it gets good. In other words, you're cheering for an undemocratic coup. So the New York Post is straight up saying, Donald Trump, you're trying to push for a coup, cut it out. They said, you had every right to investigate the election, but let's be clear, those efforts have found nothing. To take just 2 examples, your campaign paid $3 million for a recount in 2 Wisconsin counties, and you lost by 87 more votes. They're just like torching him here. Georgia did 2 recounts of the state, each time affirming Biden's win. These ballots were counted by hand, and actually the by hand part is emphasized. I'll show it up here on the screen, which alone debunks the claims of a Venezuelan vote manipulating cracking conspiracy. It's like, this is like my favorite article I've read from the New York Post, because it's the bridge burning here is pretty interesting. Sidney Powell is a crazy person. Michael Flynn suggesting martial law is tantamount to treason. It is shameful. So I'm going to leave a link to the New York Post article in the description below. I really hope that you read it. It's actually worth it, in my opinion, because we've been waiting for these pundits to finally, say what we've all been wanting to say. Stop it, Donald. You're done.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
If you hope to have a legacy after 2020, now's a good time to start making those plans. Now's a good time to stop grifting your followers, because it will come out. And then how pissed are they going to be? I'd be pissed if I found out that I was putting all this money into trying to save our democracy, only to find out that that money was going to paying for things like a super PAC or personal bills or whatever. I don't know, but that's just me. Representative Louis Gohmert of Texas has decided he wanted to sue Mike Pence, the Electoral College, Jim Bob down the street, anything that he can sue in order to try and overturn the results of the 2020 election and get Donald Trump another 4 years in office. He's basing the lawsuit off of the 1887 Electoral Count Act, stating that it unconstitutionally binds Mike Pence's hands. He believes that Mike Pence should be able to determine which group of electors to count and which ones to throw away. If you're not familiar with this perspective, in at least 7 states, there were sets of certified electoral college members who were the ones that actually voted, on December 14th, who had their votes certified by their states. And then there was a group of, in each of those states, of GOP electors whose votes go to Donald Trump. And they voted in a symbolic manner so that if the lawsuits or whatever happens overturns the election, their votes count. I don't know what to tell you on that. There's a couple issues with this perspective. Well, first of all, January the 6th it's mostly a symbolic effort. So yes, both chambers vote on the certification of these electoral college votes. And yes, one senator and one House of Representatives could get together and force 2 hour long debates in both houses. And during that 2 hour long debate, which from my understanding is per challenge, their effort would be to try to get the majority of their chamber to vote yes, let's throw out these votes. I don't really see that happening because the Democrats happen to hold the House of Representatives as a majority. And so it's unlikely that they're going to vote any of these states out. And also, Mitch McConnell and senior GOP leadership, like Senator Thune, has stated President Biden won. Let's move on. Let's worry about what's happening in Georgia and the other things going on in the country. Let's not vote on something that is doomed to failure. And it is doomed to failure. Okay? Basically, what they're going to be doing is putting their names in the highlights so that Donald Trump looks favorably on them in the event that he runs a super PAC or gets reelected in 2024. That's my personal opinion. It is fluffing their feathers up so that they can look good for the boss, for lack of a better way of putting it, even though these are supposed to be separate but equal co-branches of government. Another perspective of it that bothers me is the fact that they're expecting to empower the vice president with the ability to choose to throw out electoral votes. That is irresponsible across the board. Think of the situations that would arise in every election going forward. Oh, I think that that this election was a scam. I think I'm just going to choose, you know, myself and my running mate. Since we're incumbents anyway, we might as well just do another 4 years. So let me throw out these electoral votes. It just doesn't make any sense. You cannot have the person whose career is directly reflected in the vote choose to determine which of that vote is accurate and which is not. It's just not responsible, and frankly, the lawsuit is a waste of funds, and I hope that Louis Gohmert and his people have to pay for every bit of the costs that it accrues. I hope that your holidays were good. I hope that if you're watching this video before the new year, that is also a very good time for you. 2021, let's cross our fingers to make it a good one. It is a start of a new presidency. It is time to look at the pandemic and see what we can do to make the lives of our fellow Americans better. It's just time for us to move forward. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please remember to hit the subscribe button. That helps me out on a personal level. The more you share this, the more people that can see it, and, you know, maybe we can do something with it. Remember that when I reach the 1,000 subscriber mark, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm thinking like a $50 gift certificate. Lepichkanelwe, I will see you again.